Hey, welcome back. Today I want to talk about bullies. We all know a bully. Sometimes we've even been a bully ourselves and right? Yeah. Okay. But here is something that we must keep in mind. Now, we already know people are bullies because they feel insignificant and they're insecure themselves, blah, blah, blah. We already know if, you're dealing with a narcissist, a psychopath, no contact ever. We already know that, okay? But sometimes you come across random bullies on the street or in the grocery store or on the road or wherever. And you still have to encounter them. Okay, so one time oh my gosh, maybe it was a couple years ago or something, there were these videos on YouTube of these guys. It was so funny, like street theater type stuff, and just having fun doing pranks, and they would do things like, one of the guy, I think he was like ripping off all his clothes and just looking crazy, and then just would chase some random person. And like some people, they were like big basketball players or, big, burly looking guys, like dudes that you don't mess with. And but this skinny, crazy prankster, would just take off his clothes, make a few funny faces, and then charge one of these people. So I realized there, well, maybe before, but that was a really good example of how whoever they are, they can only chase you when you're running. So what happened in the video to the people who didn't run that stood there? Which, everything they showed in the video, 9 out of 10 ran. But who knows what actually happened in real life. We weren't there. But, okay, what would happen if somebody stood there? Or what happened in the one instance where somebody did stand their ground and stand there and just kind of look at it like, whoa, what are you doing? Use it for free comedy. Well, the dude couldn't do anything. What was he gonna do? He was only running and chasing somebody just to see if they would run. And then when they ran, well, all right, game on. And then, some of them even turned into a little tiff and, a little brawl and stuff. But, okay, think about that. Like, I think of times where, even in my own life and having stalkers and things like that, when I was running, they were chasing. But how far can you run? How far do you go? Well, eventually, when you learn to stand your ground, because again, whoever they are in your life, can only chase you. When you're running, you stand your ground and you face it. What are you afraid of anyways? What is somebody going to do who's chasing you anyways? Right? Whether it's a prankster on a basketball court or a stalker or whatever, especially gang stalkers, because they are never going to engage in one-on-one combat with you anyways. They're not, and they don't ever want to be caught anyways. So stand your ground right there, right where you're at, and then what? Okay, that's not to say there is a time and a place for everything, and sometimes you need to remove yourself from toxic situations. But I'm talking about actually being chased by like a schoolyard bully, which, dude, I did. I had my memories of the few that I remember in elementary school were miserable. And I mentioned in another video that I did go home crying all the time, and yeah, and I would be chased, and my Mandy doll even fell and had the stickers and stuff all over him, and me too, and, I was chased pretty much by the same person. I still remember her name. But why was I chased? Because I was running. What was I afraid of? What was she going to do anyways? What, punch me? Okay, so then what? The pain of running and the fear of running, and you don't even know what you're fearful of. What are you afraid of? You afraid of death? Is this little schoolyard bully gonna come kill you? Is what? What? I mean, really, think about it. Just think about they cannot chase you unless you're running, and see if that helps you come to a greater sense and source of power within your own life. Come get me. What are you going to do? The bullies are afraid of the victims anyways. That's why they have to play dumb little games. They don't, right? People who live in fear and insecurity act that way anyways. So stand up to them. They hate that. Yeah, they do. Especially when you sit and laugh and they're like, okay, so yeah, scream louder. What's that gonna do? I actually had an incident like this recently, and it was in a public place, just totally caught off guard. Like, it was a beautiful day, talking with random people. We're just there, and then this dude, I don't know, for some reason, he was on one, and I guess my colors like offended him or something, so he chose me to pick on, and I just laughed. Well, he got more angry and, you know, like, comes at me. So I just stood there. Okay. And smiled. All right. Well, why are you getting, you know, and then eventually he had to back down. Oh my God, that reminds me. I had this crazy incident in Florida. Okay. This was great. And, you know, I know we all want to avoid bad situations, and so sometimes we run even when we don't need to. But again, that's our own fears we need to work with. But okay, so check this out. So I'm in Florida, and I'm on this beautiful river, the Springs, enjoying the day, and some dude on another boat asked if he could have a cigarette. Well, I'm like, well, I don't have a cigarette, but I can roll you some tobacco. Hang on. Well, I started rolling it, and it started raining. So like, oh, crap. So I went on his boat. They invited me on his boat. I went on his boat under the bimini top, and I rolled a cigarette, handed it to him, asked anyone else if they wanted one, and ready to go. And so there was a chick on the boat. They were drunk, by the way, extremely drunk, and there were probably other substances involved. Okay, and anyways, for some reason they didn't like another chick on his boat. And then it turned into, you know, they were screaming. And so, again, I just, you know, I looked and I was just kind of giggling and, oh, you think that's funny? And actually, yeah, I do. Are you laughing at me? Well, kind of. I mean, you know. So I stood there, and then I'm thinking, okay, well, all right, I'll just get off the boat and go back and do my own thing, right? Yeah, okay. So they chased me. So what did I do? I stood there. I planted myself. Just like that. I let them scream at me, call me every single name in the book, kept threatening me, getting in my face, said, I'm going to do this to you, and I'm going to tear you up, and I'm still standing there. Okay. All right. Please. Thank you. Yeah, I stood my ground. These chicks, I mean, and they were literally coming at me like that. But I stood there, and they stopped. I mean, you know, there were a couple touches or whatever here and there, but definitely not enough in my book to qualify for me, you know, defending myself or anything like that. But I stood there, stared at them in the eyes. There were 4 of them. By the way, this story is still being told down there because they just thought they referred to it as crazy Jedi mind tricks. And but yeah, I mean, okay, so I could have ran around and gotten a brawl with these crazy drunk people, or, you know, fell in the springs or tripped on the limestone, or, you know, given them what they wanted. But I didn't. I stood there. I stood my ground. Guess who had to run? The perpetrators, the provocateurs, the bullies creating a rift that they themselves couldn't even handle. All right? So think about that, okay? Yeah. Stand your ground and face whatever it is you fear. What were these? I mean, these girls are so drunk and drugged up anyways. If they would have even tried anything I'm sure they would have hurt themselves. Like that, oh my God, there's a drunk chick video on my YouTube channel at Denny's. Check it out. But that's a perfect example. She kicked her own ass like 3 times. Being a perpetrator, being a dick, you know, causing problems with everyone else. She tries to hit, first thing, she was trying to throw her water glass or hit someone with it, and then she ended up hitting a lamp and breaking it and cutting her arm, and then she tries to get up and come at some other chick just standing there, and then she slips on all the water that she spilled by throwing the glass, and then the same thing again. I think it's called... I don't know. She was talking about how black she is in this video. It's hilarious, though. Check it out. I think it's... You can find it on my channel, the quickest, under the most watched videos. But yeah, perfect example. She kicked her own ass because her targets didn't run. You could take that to the bank with you. Have a good day. Christie, Aphrodite, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, I don't know, wherever else. Okay, bye.